Hey everyone, welcome back. And today we're changing up a little bit. We got some landscapes. Now I love drawing landscapes. I was inspired by why did I start drawing landscapes? I was inspired by after reading Berserk. I was reading some of Mira's influences, and one of the influences was just what was it? It was an artist, I forgot her name, but she was drawing these just forests and mountains with like animals running through it. And Mira said it was a big influence on him making the elf world and all this kind of things. I was like, so that's really cool. And then at the same time, I was watching some Bob Ross segments on Netflix, and I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Bob Ross dedicated all of his paintings just for mountains, oceans, forests, just like all landscapes, and it was just they're all different and they're all beautiful in their own right. You never got tired of looking at them because there's no end to them. But anyway, that was just a younger me thinking that. But so I started drawing landscapes simply because mountains are easy. Mountains are triangles, and clouds are just rounded. A lot of seas, right, connect to each other, like that. And if you want to draw ground, you just scribble. It looks like grass. At least that's how when in the very beginning when I was drawing, I was thinking like, okay, what's the basic geometric shapes that you can draw to convey that there's something there. So you see right now, like the clouds, I'm just like dashing the paper and making just lines, some dark, some light. That's what clouds look like to me. Just how they react with the light is what I like about clouds. And yeah, so in the beginning, I was just drawing just a lot of triangles. Triangles are mountains. Very simple, right? If I put it, like I'm putting like these, like it's right now you can see there's triangle forms. I'm getting better at blending them to make them more natural. What I found is that when you make a line, never draw a perfect line. Like, don't do it. Always make it jagged. Always make it curved, a little messed up on one edge because that makes it more like a rock formation, or that looks like what nature is. Nature doesn't do perfect. Nature doesn't have a perfect line. Maybe the horizon line is perfectly straight, but that's about it. But even then, you don't get away with it. Like every time you make like, if you see right here, I'm drawing the pointed rocks, or whatever that thing is in the middle. It's not. See, it's not perfectly straight because that point you're getting into like that's a geometric shape. So someone looks like a drew it. Here it looks like it was formed by corrosion of water and all that kind of thing. And that's a rule that I learned, and I keep it to myself. What's that word? I really heed to it. It's like, don't try to make it super straight and all that kind of stuff. Just it's jagged, little angles and everything like that. Now, of course, there are actually mountains with really jagged edges and everything like that, but for the drawings, especially on the size I'm drawing, it's like just make it a little off, and it just looks a little more natural onto the eye. And another thing about landscapes, especially with the pen I'm using a very bold pen. It's like what you do is you just hammer the ink down, and then you move it back and forth. You smear it, and that makes it a much more natural stroke. What I'm saying is like just really put the ink down. It's like that's how like you get those dark spots, and it smears into the hair. It's like and in the beginning I didn't like it. I was like, that's a mistake. Like I screwed up. I pressed too hard. But now no, I started embracing it. I was like, no, that's beautiful. Like the idiosyncrasies or the idiosyncrasies of this is what makes some of it. That's what I love about it. So sometimes I just draw like a random shape and just build around it just by smearing ink and pressing really hard. And in my other videos, I'm using the really thin pens. That's a micro point, and this is a bold point. Hands down, I like bold point better all day. Yeah, there's less control, but you get so much more character out of the strokes. You can just start smearing the ink, and so much ink runs through. I also want to try one of those the fountain pens or those feather quill pens, because that gives you some different strokes, like different. Because it's unpredictable, especially when those fine point ones you kind of can predict. And more expensive pens I've noticed, like those microns or whatever, the drawing pens, like I started realizing that it's all about uniformity. Like they're consistent, really consistent in those lines. But I don't know, these office pens I'm using, they're not as consistent, and sometimes it's nice. It just gives a little more character to it. Yes, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too cheap to buy expensive pens. Oh, brother. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.